All right, I'm gonna get this in really quick. I want to talk about the ESPN Plus review and the UFC Fight Pass review. This is for all my fight head, MMA and fight folks out there, boxing, combat sports, period. I really hope that I can do some more videos on this subject, but I like to do things off the cuff and not do a whole lot of editing and whatnot, and plus the rules about what you can show now is so, it sucks. It sucks, because what made this sport popular was people being able to see the fights, after the access that we had to see the fights, to watch video commentary on it from fans, and not just from the big shots that work for UFC or Showtime or whatever. That I don't think they really understand how important the little people, the analysis of the quote unquote little people is in this deal. But I bought the ESPN Plus. I had the Fight Pass before, and I think for the money, the ESPN Plus is a better deal. I don't plan on killing my Fight Pass subscription, but Fight Pass, the website is kind of janky. ESPN is a little bit better, not a whole lot better. I haven't been able to get the ESPN to work on my phone correctly. That's my biggest disappointment. It's always asking me who is my my internet, not my internet provider, my TV provider, and I don't even think that's an appropriate question. Like, I'm paying for the service, so I'm paying for for the fights to be streamed through my device, and it doesn't matter if I'm on Wi-Fi, or if I'm on just the phone data. It doesn't matter. It asks me the same question each time, and ESPN has not remedied that. I sent them a question on it, and they gave me a bullcorn, canned answer that was really nothing about what I asked. So if anybody knows how to get past that stupidity, please let me know. But if it means I got to pay my provider to be able to, or pay a provider to be able to watch the stuff that I want to watch on ESPN Plus on my phone, then that's really not a solution to me, because I don't really feel like I should have to pay twice. But in terms of the content, the PFL fights, the boxing that's on there, the UFC programs that's on there, I'm enjoying all of that. And I feel like for the money, it's a really good service. I believe I paid $79, or it might even been $100. I can't remember exactly, but I've seen it now advertised for $50, and it's well worth the $50. If you like, if you're a fight fan, the UFC has not been as enjoyable to me, although again, they do have some stuff that I really have not gotten into fully. All of the different fight programs that that they're showcasing on there. As far as the ESPN thing goes, I'm not interested in Major League Baseball, soccer, or really any of the other programming that they have. I strictly got it for the combat sports programming. So I can't really speak to that, the quality of that for those of you that want to watch basketball as well, or football or soccer or whatever, golf, whatever else that they got. But I feel like even on my laptop, the UFC site is sort of, I know it's not really a word, but it's janky. Like it kind of takes you around in these little weird loops when you're looking for certain types of programs. I don't feel like they put the fights up fast enough. And I understand that that's a business decision on their part. If anybody at the UFC, watches this review, I would ask you, at least, will you please let Joe Rogan actually show the fights on his podcast? Not the whole fight, but the highlights. Would you at least allow him to stream that and comment on that? Because Joe is he's kind of political. Like sometimes he takes the politically safe route when he's talking about fighters or anything else. You can almost see him, back off of being critical in some cases. But and I'm sure he has his reasons for doing that, whatever. But he has people that come on with him, and they comment about these fights, and really that's what built the sport, man. It's not just him, him in a very large way, of course, but people like him doing those, being able to give their commentary on the highlights. See, what else did I like? I like the host of the PFL fights. I like Eve on there, and Randy Couture, and the other brother, I can't call his name right now. I think they do a pretty good job of breaking things down, and I used to love to watch the WEC and Strikeforce stuff, and it's just, I think it's good to have some diversity in MMA. I don't believe the hype about the best fighters are in the UFC and everybody's trying to graduate to the UFC. I don't believe that, because I remember when the WEC was a competing organization with the UFC, and how many people from the WEC came in and just wrecked shop in the UFC. Strikeforce is another one. You got Cormier. I don't know why I see the name in my head, but I can't pronounce it, which is crazy, because that's my homeboy. I know the Cormier name. So, but he's a Strikeforce champion. And came into UFC and he wrecked shop. So I don't believe that hype, man. On any given day, the best fighters in the world are the people who practice the craft the most. And a lot of these folks are practicing in the same gyms with other elite athletes, and it's good to have some different organizations out there, doing their thing. So I like the PFL format as well, because they have it's a tournament-based situation. I think they need a deeper pool of competitors, though. There's some folks that are just stand out in there, and like this one guy, I believe he's a lightweight right now. He's one of the Russian dudes. He had this really vicious double flying knee that he did, or it wasn't a double flying knee, but it was a flying knee, and he knocked this guy out in 10 seconds. That guy is ready to go. That guy is full on ready for the UFC. And what's also cool about their format is that the one who wins everything wins $1 million. So like one of the fighters that's competing in that tournament right now, he won it last year. You know, you got fighters in the UFC that are not going to make $1 million in 1 year. Now, I realize only one of them is going to make the $1 million, but they're catching some other paychecks on the way up to that $1 million payday. You know, so, but at least they have the opportunity. They have a fair shake. You know, everybody seems to have a pretty fair shake at hitting that number. You know, so and that's in every single weight class in the tournament. So that's pretty cool too. So anyway, I say definitely thumbs up on ESPN Plus, and kind of mixed reviews on the UFC. Still going to give it a thumbs up, but please fix the jankiness of the website and give us quicker access to the fights that, you know, to the UFC program, and bring those fights online faster. And ESPN, fix your app integration. Stop that thing from asking who your service provider is. That's ridiculous. Okay, I don't have a service provider. I don't have cable. Why are you asking me that? I'm paying you to stream the stuff to me. You know, ain't none of your business what I got otherwise. But there it is. Love you for free. Peace.